like I said, being able to ask the most logical questions when it comes down to this trading thing is what really matters. I was just literally listening to some ICT, and he was basically saying like being able to imagine and see like, do I see that happening? You know what I'm saying? Being able to logically ask myself that question to take on the best possible trade. I feel that is a transfer or a huge tip. So like example, right? Let's just say this, right? We will say like, okay, price is, you know, right now we would say price is bullish, right? Price came, you see price come up, right? It came bullish from here at this point on, and then when it came here, it became bearish, right? But then it came up here and it became bullish again. But we will still be looking for buys, right? Right. We were not at this area. But you see price looking to this area right here, and we noticed based on past data that price, when it's above, when it closes above this area, it usually buys, right? But usually when it's below here, it usually sells off. We have 1, 2, sell off. When it comes here, it's a strong level, buys up. When it's underneath, it sells off. No matter what, it just sells off. So for me to be interested in a buy right now, logically would not make sense because we see that price usually, what's the percentage of this selling off when it comes down to this area? Very high percentage once it's underneath. 1, 2, 3. Yet like and this is a possible 4, so 70% chance of it selling off. You know what I'm saying? But when it's above here, we have a high percent chance because we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high chance of like buying up. So right now, because I hit this area, even though it says buy, I'll be more interested in sell. Price usually reverses when it comes down to this area. I'll only be interested in buys if price were to, weekly break above this level, close, then on the retest to continue up to the upside. And I'm saying like it's just literally these asking logical questions that make you just realize certain things. Like when it comes down to this trading thing, it's like you have to really be able to ask some logical questions. So for me, even though it's just bullish right here, where I'm more likely to be interested is to sell from this area down to this area here. Possibly the price could still come down here and shoot up, but possibly what makes more sense is that price would logically, like the weekly price is bullish here, I would want the weekly can become bullish here, weekly can close underneath here, and price will become bearish. And what I'll do is look for the pullback here on this area right here, and this 1, 2 taps, enter on that weekly wick in this area, and then go down with a possible, sell. Like the can I see it happening? Possibly. Can price continue up? Possibly, but I am not interested in that bullish move. I'm more interested in the sells. So now we see price is still bullish here. So, but the price closes by the end of this week below this area here, it's even better for us because watch this. Price goes below this area here, right? Guess what happens? We have a head and shoulders pattern, right? Bam. We have a head and shoulders pattern right here. And what we do, we look for a retest of the head and shoulders. And that's what we'll be looking for because in between this area, because we have this strong level, we'll be looking for price to come up here, come up here, hit us with like a wick, a strong rejection candle right here, and then we look for the sells. And then look, because it does that, if it does that, guess what? We're in for the sells based on this area here. Enter right here in the 4 hour shift of structure engulfing. We enter here, stops above, look in the daily, sets above this area here, and then what's our next level? Down here. The next level will be literally straight. It will literally be this area here. And you see the risk to reward, and logically it makes more sense because every time this area it usually reverses. If it's above, okay, cool. If we end up losing, it's usually okay, cool. But logically, that's what makes the most sense. And this could be a very good, chat. So number one, like we always say, like going based on the way that I trade is, where is it? The templates. Let's go. $1 million plan right here. Number one, trust your intuition, right? So number one is trust my intuition. Always number one, no matter everything else aligns, intuition is over everything. So no matter the week line, no matter all this, if it just has something that looks weird, trust my intuition, don't take it. I noticed that 8 out of 10 times my intuition is right. So if it's Am I stopping and it still goes to profit? Okay, cool. But I know that 8 out of 10 times I'm right. Most of the time when I look at a trend, I'm like, this feels off. I end up taking it and I end up losing. So that's one thing I learned from last year is that I need to trust my intuition more. If I trust my intuition more, I would avoid a lot of losses. So trust my intuition more. And then, when I don't feel like I have to take a trade, it's okay not to take it. When it doesn't feel right, don't take it. And if I take it, if it doesn't feel right and I take it, that's fine. It's just like, dang, I don't want to lose it just in case. No, bro, we're talking about logical, making logical sense. So weekly probabilities, what is the chances of what makes the most sense? That makes the most sense based on the weekly, right? What makes the most sense? That price would break down here and then come here with this wick, and then we enter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes the most sense. The price comes up here with that wick, we enter on that wick, and it continues down. It makes the most sense, right? I don't know how it's gonna get there, but possibly. Then we have, what are the chances of one thing happening with the other? We're looking at it like chances of this going down. It's like a 70% chance. Why not take that? You know what I'm saying? It's more 70% chance. It's like a 25% chance of it going up. I'll take the high probability. Honestly, with everything add up. Yeah, I'm able to have the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour line. Weekly area of interest, daily area of interest. We get the daily pin bar, and then we get the shift of structure, and then we get our entry signal. That's like B. You know what I'm saying? A B setup. So we take that B setup and take it down. So that makes the most sense. And this game is about logically just waiting for what makes the most sense, asking myself that question. And I realize the more that I speak out loud, I am able to understand the mistakes I'm making, decisions I'm making, and make logical decisions. But I have to speak out loud. I have to speak out loud to understand and hear what is going on, and logically ask myself these questions. What are the chances of this happening? Does this make more sense? It doesn't make sense. Don't take the trade. Ace, remember, keep up with that same mindset. It's not everything lines up. It doesn't matter. Intuition is over everything. And that will get me. And I really believe, bro, I really strongly believe that this year, it's the year, bro. 2025. We're at, right now we're at December 25th, 2024, $0 from trading. But I do believe by the end of 2025, I will amount a certain mass amount of money on this trading game, bro. Just by logically asking myself this question, taking a trade 1 or 2 trades every like 2 weeks, and make this bit work for sure. I really believe this is going to happen. So stick with it.